Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you recite the verse, Prabhuji? The mantra 9.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Andam tama pravishanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhuya eva te tamo yau vidyayam rataha. Andam tama pravishanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhuya eva te tamo yau vidyayam rataha. Andam tama pravishanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhuya eva te tamo yavo vidyayam rataha.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Parth Prabhu, are you there?
But I think he's got sore throat, he said.
Oh,
So he
okay.
won't be able to speak.
Did he send the message? I didn't check that message, Prabhuji. Yes, I'll check
Yes.
it. Yeah, I'll check.
Yes.
As I have got. Oh, okay. Okay, Prabhuji. No worries. Thank you, Prabhuji. Right. Andham tamaha pravishanti ye avidyamupasate tato bhuya iva te tamo yau vidyayam rataha. What word synonym? Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I need a volunteer to read that.
Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Those who engage in the culture of nascent
No.
activity.
What word synonym first,
Oh,
Mataji?
sorry, Prabhuji. Andham, gross ignorance. Tamaha, darkness. Pravishanti, enter into. Ye, those who. Avidyam, nescience. Upasate, worship. Tataha, than that. Bhuyah, still more. Iva, like. Te, they. Tamaha, darkness. Ye, those who. U, also. Vidyayam, in the culture of knowledge. Ratah, engaged. Gross ignorance, darkness, enter into. Those who nescience worship, than that, still more like they, darkness, those who also in the culture of knowledge engaged.
Yes. So with the word to word synonyms, we can drive the meaning of the words, Andham tamaha pravishanti. Gross ignorance, darkness enter into. And then ye avidyam upasate. Avidyam is nescience. So those who nescience worship, those who worship nescience. Tato bhuya iva te tamo. So then that still more like they. Yau vidyayam rata. So those who also in the culture of knowledge engaged. So who are engaged in culture of so-called culture of knowledge, they will put into still more darkness. So let's come to the translation now.
Those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
Yes. So we can see in this mantra, it talks about the vidya and avidya, the nescience. So who engaged in the nescience activities, they will enter into the darkest region of ignorance. But still worse than those who engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. Now, what is this so-called knowledge? So we will discuss that, and Srila Prabhupada very elaborately explained in the purport about this vidya, what is a vidya and what is vidya, and how that's affecting or how this works. Vidya, the culture of nescience. So it's very interesting and very good purport. So we'll start reading that. Yes, Marcus.
Yes, Prabhuji. This mantra offers a comparative study of Vidya and Avidya. Avidya, or ignorance, is undoubtedly dangerous, but Vidya, or knowledge, is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. This mantra of Isopanishad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education, but the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of the most important part of life, the spiritual aspect.
Yes. So we'll discuss the first para. So here, as I said, that is in this mantra, it is explained about Vidya and Avidya. So Avidya is ignorance, that is dangerous. But how come Vidya is dangerous? So Srila Prabhupada are saying that here knowledge is more dangerous when misguided or mistaken. So today's civilization is the best example of this. Now we can see around us that we have so many advanced technology, science, health, education to all, but are we more happy and satisfied than previous generations? We can ask these questions. Yes, we have more means to tackle the problems of diseases and other, like fast travel, all that. But are these fast travel and these technologies, are they giving us more satisfaction and happiness? We can evaluate, because these advancements are making us more miserable and anxious. It's a lot of anxiety, tension, and all these problems nowadays. What is the result of these are the result of this nescience, culture of nescience, because it will come further in the purport, as Srila Prabhupada said, that the less advancement or less cultured people or less so-called educated people that are far better than this advanced nescience culture, because here is more and more atheism is prevalent, and because we developed a lot of medicines, we developed a lot of technologies that we can rely upon, and we think that that's all in all. That's what it is. That's science is everything. This technology is everything. But are these technologies, or they're stopping us to getting sick? Are they stopping us to dying? We're still getting sick. We're still dying. So what it is, and we will read, this is only a cover up. Srila Prabhupada says it's a cover up of stopping us to asking the real question. What is the real solution of the problem? It's just these technologies and these gadgets are cover-ups. We will study that further. So this point that we need to understand deeply, that yes, we need to educate ourselves and our children in this so-called knowledge, but to fit into the society. Otherwise, we cannot survive in the society. All our education system is designed to make us like a module to fit in this society. So we get the job, we study, we become engineers, doctors, scientists, managers, etc. To what? To just to fit into the society. So, and we spend our earnings in sense gratifications. So that's it. So this fact we need to get aware of, that this is not all in all. Life is more than this 9-to-5 job and rat race. So we need to educate in spiritual knowledge, which is the real knowledge. And no schools or universities will teach this spiritual knowledge. Only by Srila Prabhupada books, that when we study in the association of devotees, we can get this real knowledge. And we can understand about what is Vidya and what is Avidya and how it's related. So material like material knowledge is necessary to survive in the society, but it is not all in all. Most important is spiritual knowledge, which give us the real understanding how to use these material things and how to become happy. So if we don't have a spiritual knowledge, we don't know how to use these material things. We think this material energy is all in all, and we fall into this trap, and more miseries comes. But if we have spiritual knowledge, so we know how to use it, who is the real proprietor of this, how we can use these material things for our maintenance, and first offer to Krishna, and then we can use it, and how we can make aware other people about this fact. So this is the main point from this first paragraph, Vidya and Avidya. So how Avidya, the culture of this niche science, although it's important for our survival, for this material knowledge, and we cannot say our children that, oh, no, we stop sending them to the schools and colleges, and we'll just, spiritual knowledge is, yes, spiritual knowledge is primary. It tells us how to use everything. So we get our self-education and our children also education in this so-called niche science to survive in the society. But we don't forget that the real knowledge is spiritual knowledge. The real goal is spiritual goal. So this is the first point that I derive from this first paragraph. Now, is there any questions so far on this first paragraph, or any point that you want to ask or realize about avidya, this science of the culture of niche science? Okay. Let's go further. Yes, Madhu.
Yes. As far as Vidya is concerned, the first mantra has explained very clearly that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything, and that forgetfulness of this fact is ignorance. The more a man forgets this fact of life, the more he is in darkness. In view of this, a godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated.
Yes. So this is the point that Srila Prabhupada is talking about, that uh, here Vidya is explained. So Isavasham principle in the first mantra we studied. So everything belongs to Krishna. So how hard is this fact to understand? It seems very simple, but it's very hard to understand and accept it. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that so-called less educated are less dangerous. Why? Because at least they still accept their limitations. They have more chances to come to Krishna for their needs than so-called educated. Because when we are advanced in education, we rely upon our advancement. But as Srila Prabhupada said, that the less educated people, we can see in the tribes or in old villages, still people are a bit religious, they still have more chances to go to Krishna than hardcore corporate culture, because when we become more rich, when we have more money, then our mind is sort of thinking that we are all in all, and when we have less things, then we are more humble, we are more prone, we can hear about Krishna, we can listen. So so this avidya is making people mudhas and atheists. So we will study further up the 4 types of miscreants who never surrender to Krishna. So that will come further, because there are four types of people who they never surrender. Basically, they just it's different categories. We will Srila Prabhupada explain them elaborately. So we'll study that. Okay.
Of the different classes of men, karmis, jnanis, and yogis, the karmis are those who are engaged in the activities of sense gratification. In the modern civilization, 99.9% of the people are engaged in the activities of sense gratification under the flags of industrialism, economic development, altruism, political activism, and so on. All these activities are more or less based on satisfaction of the senses, to the exclusion of the kind of God consciousness described in the first mantra.
Yes.
Should
So,
I continue?
sorry. Yeah. So we'll discuss one para. So here, three classes of men Srila Prabhupada described, and we have studied that previously. Karmis, jnanis, and yogis. So, so Srila Prabhupada is saying that 99.9% of people are karmis nowadays. Even people think they are doing charity work, altruism, or philanthropic activities. All these also the subtle sense gratification. Although these are pious activities, but if Isavasam principle is missing, then it is sense gratification. Now, people have invented different slogans, like for doing their these altruism and philanthropic activities. They're saying that Manav Seva is Madhav Seva, or Dridra Narayan. That sort of concepts or philosophies are there. But when we see closely, then real Manav Seva is when we distribute this knowledge, how to come out of these miseries or these material miseries, and how Madhav Seva can solve these problems of life, of Manav. So, yes, we need basic requirements of life like food and shelter. But is this all in all? Is this goal of life? Because Ahar, Nidra, Bhay, Maithun, all the animal life is also solving these problems. So what's the difference between human and animals then? So why we have given this higher intelligence to solve the real problems of life? So what is the real problem of life? So I came across, this is a famous song by Sripad Sankaracharya, Bhaji Govindam. It says that in one paragraph, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha sansare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. So birth again, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, birth again, death again. Punarapi janani jathare shayanam. So resting in the mother's womb again. It is indeed hard to cross this boundless ocean of sansara. Iha sansare bahu dustare. So what is sansara? Sansara is the cycle of birth and death. That is sansar. O Murari, by your causeless mercy, please protect me from this transmigratory process. Kripaya apare pahi murare. Murari is Lord Krishna himself. So it's pray to Krishna that only Krishna by his causeless mercy can protect us. So this is our real problem. Punarapi jannam, punarapi maranam. Repeated birth and death, So this, now what are those people who do not understand this fact and take shelter of avidya? These coming in next paragraph. Those four types of people who don't think that this is a real problem. They think real problem is their material problem. So we'll read about those four types of miscreants now.
In the language of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 15, though people who are engaged in gross sense gratification are mudhas, asses. The ass is a symbol of stupidity. Those who simply engage in the profitless pursuit of sense gratification are worshipping avidya, according to Sri Isopanishad. And those who play the role of helping this sort of civilization in the name of educational advancement are actually doing more harm than those who are on the platform of gross sense gratification. The advancement of learning by a godless people is as dangerous as a valuable jewel on the hood of a cobra. A cobra decorated with a valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated. In the Hari Bhakti Subhodaya, the advancement of education by a godless people is compared to decorations on a dead body. In India, as in many countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession with a decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. In the same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual miseries of material existence. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification, but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Thus, the aim of real education should be self realization, realization of the spiritual values of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must be considered avidya or nescience. And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance.
Yes. So here, Srila Prabhupada is giving the example, the reference of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 15, where these 4 types of miscreants has been described. So we'll look at that first. It says, Namam duskritino mudaha prapadante naradhamaha Mayaya prahata jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So, who are those? 4. Number 1 is mudhas, like those who are uh, grossly foolish, So, Srila Prabhupada are saying that mudhas, so prime example is ass, who just know that work hard for his master for filling his stomach. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that most often those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties, say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. Talk to them. They said, "Oh, we don't have time. We have very less time. We have a lot of things to do. We have this thing to do, this thing to do." It's a self-created duties. But in reality, our prime duty is what? Our prime duty is to know. It's a self-realization. That's our prime duty. So, and material gain, which is temporary, is all in all for them. Although they can enjoy only a fraction of their fruits, because sometimes because of the sleepless day and night, they may develop the ulcers, indigestions, or diabetes, or so many diseases, So even fruits of their labor, they cannot fully enjoy. So Srila Prabhupada says that the swine who eat the soil do not care to accept sweet meats made of sugar and ghee. So these mudas do not surrender unto the Lord and do not spare time to hear about the Lord. So that's the situation of mudas who are foolishly or grossly foolish. So they said, "Oh, we don't have time. So we just want to work. And that's all in all. The material gain is all in all for them. Now the second is Naradhama. Naradhama is the lowest of the mankind. So we know there are 8.4 million species of life. And out of those, 400,000 are human species. And most of these are lower forms of human life, which are mostly uncivilized. And so-called civilized who have no religious principles must be considered Naradhama. So the civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of the eternal relation with the Lord. Whoever loses this chance is classified as Naradhama. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that because of Varnashram system is destroyed now and is broken, and nobody following the process of reformatory ceremonies. They call sanskaras. There are 10 sanskaras from the before taking birth to the antim sanskar. But it's all gone, like nobody is following it. So therefore, 99.9% of people or population is Naradhama. Nar Adham means lowest of the mankind. So naturally, all their so-called education is made null and void by the powerful energy of physical nature. So whatever so-called advancement or education is null and void. It's no meaning. It's just creating more havoc in the society. So that is Naradhama. Now, the third one is Maya Apharata Jnana, means whose knowledge is nullified by the illusory energy. So this material energy will taken away their intelligence or knowledge, those by Maya. So they are Maya Apharata Jnana. So they are mostly great philosophers, poets, and scientists. They are learned people, but their knowledge or is taken away by the illusory energy. They are misguided by illusory energy. Srila Prabhupada says that these kind of duskritinas or miscreants are common nowadays, and all the unauthorized interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita by these classes of men are stumbling block on the path of spiritual understanding. So we can see so many translations of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, all these translations done by different people, and they just put their own thinking, own understanding in the interpretation. And Srila Prabhupada said that these are the stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding, because people get easily, they get misguided about those unauthorized translations, That's why Srila Prabhupada put the name Bhagavad Gita as it is. It's as it is. It's no contamination. Word towards synonyms and translations makes it so authentic that all these verses we can understand as it is. And then Srila Prabhupada's purpose are there to make us, so we can understand better about the different angles. So, and number 4 is Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Who are those? Atheistic of demoniac principles. So they are asuras. They are totally demons. Who are demons? Who are enemies of Supreme Lord. They are demons. So these duskritinas, asuras, are enemies of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada is saying that they do not accept that Supreme Lord descend upon the material world. And some are making the Supreme Lord subordinate to the impersonal feature. Parbrahm. They're saying the Parbrahm, this impersonal Jyoti or energy is all in all. And when Lord descends here, he takes shelter of, or he's subordinate of this illusory energy, So this sort of misconceptions they have. So they manufacture illicit incarnation of the Lord and do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So these are the Asuram Bhavam Ashtra. So they are pure, like they are enemies of the Lord. So they want to become Lord themselves, That's why these sort of different philosophies you come across, that you are God, I am God, everyone is God, But because we have forgot about our situation, about real position, that's why we are here, So it's a lot of these kind of conceptions are there. But we need to clear our conceptions. Our concepts should be clear, that we are part and parcel of the Lord, and we can never become God. We are subordinate. We are servant of the God. So So these four types of miscreants never surrenders unto the Lord. Another point Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, that the advancement of learning by these godless people is more dangerous. This advancement is compared by decorating the dead body, which is like cover up the perpetual miseries of material existence. You know, dead bodies. So I don't know. Yeah, in India is not that much, but in Western world they decorate dead bodies very much. So in funerals and all that, everybody dress up very nicely, and they dress up the dead body very nicely, make it like all the makeup and everything. So Srila Prabhupada said that this is a cover up. It's like decorating the dead bodies. So these advancement of technologies and science, different gadgets in the market like robots, artificial intelligence, all these are cover-ups. So means they just want us to be busy with these toys. And so we do not think about real problems of life. So they want us to keep us busy in these sort of things. So instead our problems um, are become very related to them. Like, I want to buy an iPhone. I want to buy this thing. I want to buy this gadget. This is my problem rather than the real problem. So, but how to learn to us there is, sorry, these new technologies, they are just bewildering us, they are just covering up. So they say all this advancement of knee science is to save human time. When they say why the robots are coming, why this artificial intelligence is coming, oh, because we want to save human time. So they can do the work in very fast, like very less time. But what we'll do in this free time? They don't know. So we get entangled more. We think that we're saving time, but it's not. In reality, it's wasting time. So people can travel faster. They complete work by machines, and they can talk on the phone from far away people, but still they say that they do not have time. If you ask somebody, they say, I don't have time. Although we have so many gadgets, so many things to save the time, but still people don't have time. So this is the culture of knee science. So it is spent on, because the time whatever we save, we spend more and more sense gratification activities, so that's why we don't have more time. So this is the cover up. Srila Prabhupada says that the perfect example is this decorating the dead body. Because like sometimes people decorate the dead body by putting nice clothes, makeup, and expensive coffins and so forth for the sake of the lamenting relatives. So they do not inquire about why we die, why we have to die. So nobody asks this question. No, because they just want to cover up. So rather showing the dead body in very beautiful, makeup thing. So, and saying that he'll go and rest in the peace. So although body made of these material elements, it will decompose anyway on its own time, no matter how decoration you will do. So, but this, so this decoration is a cover up, hiding the real questions. So this is the culture of knee science or vidya. Srila Prabhupada says, to culture such knee science means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance. Andham tamaha pravishanti. That's the meaning of that. Andham tamaha pravishanti. So we go down the darkest region of the hell. So now there is another point in this paragraph. Srila Prabhupada explained about the senses, and then the mind. About the mind is intelligence, and this is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 42. I'll see that. Yeah. Says here, Indriyani parani ahu, Indriyebhya param manaha, manasastu para buddhi, yo buddhe parasastu saha. Translation. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. So the working senses are lowest. Lowest is the body, and then working senses, and then the mind, and then the intelligence, and then the soul. So in the Srila Prabhupada says in purport, I'll just read the last para. With the intelligence, one has to seek out the constitutional position of the soul and then engage the mind, always in Krishna consciousness. That solves the whole problem. The neophyte spiritualists is generally advised to keep aloof from the objects of science, objects of senses. One has to strengthen the mind by use of intelligence. If by intelligence one engages one's mind in Krishna consciousness by complete surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then automatically the mind becomes stronger. And even though the senses are very strong, like serpents, they will be no more effective than serpents with broken fangs. But even though the soul is the master of intelligence and mind and the senses also, still, unless it is strengthened by the association with Krishna and Krishna consciousness, there is every chance of falling down due to the agitated mind. Yes, so Srila Prabhupada is saying here strongly, very clearly, that we have to strengthen our mind with constant association of Krishna in Krishna consciousness. That's why we chant, we chant the holy name of the Lord. So when we chant, we are associating with the Lord, So when we study Srila Prabhupada books, we're studying scriptures, so we are associating with Srila Prabhupada, we are associating with Krishna. So that's association, that's constant association, strengthen our mind, and then we can use our intelligence, and then the soul can, we can act on the spiritual platform of soul. At the moment, we are body consciousness. We are not Krishna consciousness. We are bodily consciousness, because our senses, I'm hungry, I'm just going to eat. I'm this, I just want to do this. I just bored, I want to watch movie. I'm this, I want to do this. So at the moment, we are just what our senses are saying, we are doing. But real intelligence is, no, I'm bored or I have time. Let's study Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's study Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Or do chanting. So that is intelligence. So we use intelligence to bring back or follow these activities. So our mind is chanchal anyway. So Lord also said that, and Arjun said that is chanchalam, he mana Krishna. So man is chanchal, mind is chanchal, very flickering, and it's very strong. So that is the main point of this paragraph. Hold on, I'll go back. Yeah, here, where Srila Prabhupada is saying that thus the aim of real education should be self-realization, a realization of the spiritual values of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must be considered avidya or nescience. And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of light. So we are clear now so far what is avidya. So vidya we already know from the first mantra of this Isopanishad, Isavasam principle. So far, is any questions or any clarification needed? No? Okay. Let's read further then.
According to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 42 and chapter 7, verse 15, mistaken mundane educators are known as Vedavadarat and Mayagarita Nana. They may also be atheistic demons, the lowest of men. Those who are Vedavad Rat pose themselves as very learned in the Vedic literature, but unfortunately, they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, it is said that the purpose of the Vedas is to know the personality of Godhead. But these Vedavadarat men are not at all interested in the personality of Godhead. On the contrary, they are fascinated by such fruitive results as the attainment of heaven.
Yes. So here is a couple of other verses Srila Prabhupada has given the reference. Chapter 2, verse 42. So Ved Vadarataha. So here is in Ved Vadarataha, comes in here is 42, 43 is together here. Yamami imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashchitah Vedavadarataha partha nanyad astiti vadinaha. So here it comes Vedavadarataha. This is the word. And next verse. Kama, sorry, yeah. Kamatmanaha swargapara janma karma phala pradam kriya vishesha bahulam Bhogashwarya gatim priti. Translation: men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So here we can see the word-to-word synonym, Ved Vada Rataha, supposed followers of the Vedas. So in the Vedas, there are, it's a flowery language of Vedas, it's called flowery language. So people who are more attached to this flowery language, they are supposedly, what Srila Prabhupada said, supposedly followers of Vedas, followers, supposed followers of the Vedas. So they pose themselves, they are Vedvadrataha, they are very much following the Vedas. But they are missing the point. What the point is? In chapter 15, verse 15. It's very famous verse. It's here, yeah. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smriti jnanam apohannam cha vedescha sarveraham eva vedyo vedanta krid vedavid eva chaham. Translation: I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So Krishna here is saying, I am by all the Vedas, I am to be known. So what is the purpose of the Vedas? To know Krishna. And indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So Lord saying here, I am the Vedas. So everything, whatever the flowery language and the conclusion of Vedas is to know Krishna. That's what is clearly mentioned in this verse. And Krishna says that. So it's the so-called knowledge, the culture of so-called knowledge, people, Vedvadarataha, they attracted to different, it will come in next verses or next mantras. People less intelligent people, they go to demigods, they do different karam kands that also given in the Vedas, different procedures, different yagnas. But the real purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. It's clearly mentioned in this verse. And this is a word of Krishna's. It's not like somebody interpreting that. So, yeah, so that's what we can understand about Vedvadarataha and this para so far. So I think we should stop here because it's bit long purport, so we can cover half of the purport in next session. But just want to say, if you have any questions or any clarifications you needed, so we can discuss now. We have still got 5 minutes. I think it's past Prabhu, no, he's gone, I think, yeah.